the catalyst for if you like, the two invasions of Ukraine starting 2014, then 2022, goes back in fact to 2004, when the Orange Revolution took place in Ukraine. And I feel, and I said at this time very openly, that I was really quite surprised that we were discussing this motion, because it seemed to me that it's actually disrespectful and possibly even insulting to those millions of Ukrainians who, well before the start of 2022, had shown that their allegiance was to an independent Ukraine and one free to choose its own destiny. And this is actually what provoked Russia. But the catalyst was the 2004 revolution. Millions of people went onto the streets and to protest and to signal to the Kremlin that Ukraine was an independent country capable of electing its own leaders, and it didn't need the guidance or interference from Moscow. And let's remember, at the time, Putin was trying to make sure that Viktor Yanukovych became the president, the next president of Ukraine. And Putin was really shocked and humiliated by his miscalculation of the way Ukrainian society would react. And Ukrainians showed that they wanted their country to develop along different lines from Russia, and not on the template of Putin's Russia. So I would argue really very strongly that it was this Ukrainian defiance that pushed Putin over the edge and persuaded him to intervene. And let's remember, in 2014, the issue that got people onto the streets originally was the fact that Yanukovych was pressured by Putin to drop the idea of signing an association agreement with the EU. Now, it's fair to say, of course, that Western institutions and the Western way of life, they were magnets in this process, but it's entirely different from saying that the West provoked the Russian bear in taking such an extreme step, and that it made it attack a people that previously it had regarded as brotherly. But the honest fact is that the Putin regime had made Russia unappealing to large sections of Ukrainian society, and people who were previously well disposed both to Russia and to Russians, and saw the two countries as closely related. And by contrast, Europe was a force of attraction.